Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the TV6 Digital Desk live stream. My name is Molly Birch, and I'll be taking you through a recap of today's headlines. This stream runs every night starting at 8/7 Central Time from Sunday to Thursday. You can find us streaming on both Facebook and YouTube, whichever platform you'd prefer. Feel free to comment and ask any questions you have in the chat as you feel like it. I'll do my best to answer those questions as we go and after the stream as well. With all of that business out of the way, let's take a look at our first story for tonight. We start off with the new information. A months-long deadlock is over in Lansing after 2 Democrats won special elections yesterday to the state house. The previous representatives were elected mayors of their respective cities. The House has been at a 54-54 stalemate between Democrats and Republicans. Now, Democrats have regained the majority. State Senator Ed McBroom says having unity among UP lawmakers is important, while Democrats say they're ready to get back to work and dive into budget season.
We are moving full speed ahead into budget season. So getting those elections certified, getting those members in here so that they are able to vote and help us move things a little bit faster and just kind of get back to business.
You know, for us in the UP, the more that we have a team that works together, the more influence and more success we have. And whether that's on obtaining budgetary goals or policy goals, you know, having a cohesive team that trusts each other, that works together is critical.
In a statement, Representative Jen Hill says the Democrats' central priority is working on a budget that invests in the people of Michigan. And the Keweenaw Land Association is looking to expand its mineral rights within the Upper Peninsula. The Mineral Assets Company wants to lease about 11,000 acres across Baraga, Dickinson, Iron, Marquette, and Menominee counties. If this is approved by the DNR, this would allow the exploration for the presence of metallic minerals in those areas. Currently, the Keweenaw Land Association owns and manages 400,000 acres of mineral rights within the Upper Peninsula. As a part of the public comment stage of the direct leasing process, the Michigan DNR held a public information meeting today. There were calls today for the DNR to deny the lease.
Just have it be where you're not just a rubber stamp for what industry wants, what profit demands, and say, like, actually, there is too much of an environmental impact.
The DNR should keep in mind its legal responsibility to steward taxpayer resources, and before issuing a lease should consider how mineral development would impact sensitive areas in this vast acreage.
TV6 called the president and CEO of the Keweenaw Land Association today. He says the company is waiting until the process moves forward to provide any statement. It's unclear when the DNR will make a decision on the lease. For those who missed the meeting today, the DNR is accepting questions from the public. To learn more, go to uppermichigansource.com or the TV6 and Fox UP mobile news app. And after nearly 3 years of funding and planning, the Keweenaw Co-op in Hancock is closing in on opening its new location. According to the co-op, they are aiming for an early September opening date. The business had been looking to open during the spring of this year. However, they say delays in several parts of construction have pushed it back. The co-op's general manager says momentum is now steady towards completion.
Inside, things are really starting to shape up, look like a grocery store in some ways. They're beginning all of the mechanical stuff in there, paint on the walls in some places, and walk-in coolers and that kind of thing have moved in.
Parking, expanded services, and space for further products.
Getting shots here. I'm sorry.
A drive-in restaurant in Baraga County is now open for its 66th season and has plenty of events lined up. The Baraga Drive-In will host weekly car shows on Tuesday where people can showcase their vintage vehicles. The drive-in restaurant will host its biggest car show in July and bring in musical talent for the event. The owners of the Baraga Drive-In say people from all over the region come in to showcase their vehicles.
We get people from all over, Hancock, Houghton, Ishpeming, Mass City, I mean from the whole general area, some from Marquette. We've had them as far as ways Wisconsin come in. And it's just a nice gathering of folks with their cars.
The Baraga Drive-In is open from 11 in the morning to 8 in the evening, Tuesday through Sunday. And in new developments tonight, Delta County has released the summary of its airport investigation. The investigator says the former airport manager was grossly negligent in her work duties. The county board launched the investigation after the new airport manager declared the facility was in an administrative crisis. At the time, the new manager said the airport could face penalties, litigation, and ultimately a shutdown if it didn't fulfill the requirements for a failed FAA inspection. TV6's Escanaba Bureau reporter says if we filed a Freedom of Information Act request with the county, and late last night, we got a summary of the investigation. Today, TV6's Barbara Bellinger spoke with former airport manager Andrea Nummillien, current airport manager Robert Ranstadler, and County Commissioner Bob Peterson about the results and where the airport goes from here.
Former Delta County Airport Manager Andrea Nummillien says the county attorney should have never been in charge of the Delta County Airport investigation.
It should have gone to an independent third party to begin with, especially considering all of the rampant political issues going on in our county right now. So I welcomed it going to the FAA, and I think it was a monumental waste of time and resources to do anything else besides that.
The county sent Attorney Scott Graham's report to the Federal Aviation Administration on Graham's recommendation. The FAA's response was there was nothing in the summary for it to pursue. In his report, Graham claimed Nummillien was grossly negligent in fulfilling her work duties and could potentially be criminally liable for her actions. However, Commissioner Peterson says with the FAA declining to pursue the investigation, the board will not take any further steps against the former manager. And he stands by the decision to conduct the investigation.
It was very important to do this. I think it showed the FAA that we're serious about our airport and keeping it up to snuff and make sure that everything's operating legally and appropriately.
Peterson says the board plans to be more involved in airport operations going forward. One item before the board is to request a report from the airport manager after every annual FAA inspection. Airport manager Bob Ranstadler says he is also making changes.
I think the two major things we've really worked on improving around here are organization and communication.
Ranstadler says he also wants to change the responsibilities of the Airport Advisory Board.
What we really need is more of an action board. If the board was more heavily invested and involved more directly in the affairs of the airport and they were on the ground kind of helping make decisions,
Thank you, Barbara. And while we don't know yet what Attorney Graham's investigation will cost county taxpayers, there are other costs. Ranstadler says he spent more of his first 3 months working only on getting the airport back into compliance, including 60 to 70-hour work weeks. You can read the full summary of the Delta County Airport investigation on uppermichigansource.com or the TV6 and Fox UP mobile news app. And new data is shedding light on tourism in the Western UP. In a typical year, a University of Michigan Economic Growth Institute survey says around $350 million went toward tourism in Baraga, Gogebic, Houghton, Iron, Keweenaw, and Outaougan counties. The director of research at the institute says the findings were unique because most of the tourism went toward natural aspects, like skiing and snowboarding in winter and hiking in the summer.
This data can really inform local leaders in a unique way because it's so localized, and this has never been done before. And so with that local data, it can help inform how investments are made, what the role of tourism is in the area, and what the potential future can be.
Crane says she hopes this data will help people better understand how to allow for more growth in the area. And a DNR-operated shooting range reopened for the season and is now available to the public. The Erickson Skoglund shooting range is open free of charge every day from 9 in the morning to 7 in the evening. It is currently the only DNR-managed public shooting range in the UP. Officials say a second range is planned to eventually open in the Porcupine Mountains. Range officers are at the location during some hours, but at variable times.
When you're there by yourself, you need to communicate with other shooters that are there and remember safety rules to treat every gun as though it's loaded, and always keep your muzzle of your gun pointed away from people, and don't put your finger on the trigger until you're ready to fire.
To see a full list of regulations, go to uppermichigansource.com or the TV6 and Fox UP mobile news app. And finally, tonight on the TV6 Digital Desk live stream, free eyesight screenings will be available to children in Marquette this weekend. The Marquette Lions Club is hosting a Project Kids Sight screening event at the YMCA's Healthy Kids Day. It's Saturday from 10 in the morning until noon. The process is contact-free and takes less than a minute. The club says it's important for parents to get their kids' eyes checked when they're young to avoid permanent damage.
There are certain conditions that if they're identified early enough in their age, between 6 months and 6 years, those are conditions that can't be corrected later, that we can catch early, and that's the reason for KidSight, is to catch those vision issues early.
If you can't make it to the Y on Saturday, the Lions will be hosting another Project Kids Sight screening event next Tuesday in the lower level of the Peter White Public Library from 9:30 in the morning until noon. And that's all the stories we have for you tonight. Be sure to tune in right back here on Facebook at 8:45 tomorrow morning. TV6's Mandy Koskela and Michael Sobek will recap top stories from the morning on their show, Beyond Your Morning News. If you have a story idea you think we should report on, feel free to contact us at any time. These are a few easy ways to get a hold of both myself and others in the newsroom. And again, you can contact us at any time. We would love to hear from you and what's happening in your community. Thank you all again for joining me live at the TV6 Digital Desk. Have a great rest of your night.